Hello friends, let's continue our Jenkins journey. So in order to move further on our Jenkins journey, it's very important to understand Spring Cloud Config Server. So what is a Spring Cloud Config Server? It is nothing but storing and serving distributed configurations for the different application and the environments. So this one we are going to use in two places. One is the for Ansible, another one is to create our pipeline map jobs. So I will explain those things in a later part, but for now let's try to understand what is Spring Cloud Config Server. So how to start a Spring Cloud Config Server project? So there is a Spring initializer start.spring.io. So go to this site. So here you can select whatever build tool you're going to use. In my case, I want to use Gradle project, and language whatever you are familiar. I am selecting Java, and take any stable version. I am taking 2.6.2. And what is my group ID? So group ID is something I want to Jnanam Jenkins, and artifact name I want to give config server. So select Java 8 here, and then we have to add two dependencies. One is the config server, this one, and another one is the Spring Web. Once you've done that, then let's say generate. So then it will ask you to save, then you can save that zip file, and then you can untar it wherever you want it. So once you've done unzip, we have to do few modifications. So to understand in a better way, I done all my modifications in the main branch, and then I just extracted the dummy or the default config server zip which I downloaded from the Spring initializer. So I generated a private key and a public key to integrate with the Bitbucket repository or a GitHub repository. So I mentioned the command also how to generate a RSA private key. The important thing is it should be in a PEM format. Then by default @config server will not be enabled, so you have to add this line, and then you have to import that class. So that we have to do in config server application.java. Then we have to edit. I deleted application.properties, rather I used application.yml and bootstrap.yml. So let's see what are those modifications. So under config server, if I go sources, and then if I go main resources application.yaml. So in application.yaml, so we have to say in which port we're going to bring up the config server. I'm saying 8888, and then where I'm going to save my logs, I'm saying config server.log. I'm naming this application name as config server. So this one I will explain. This is a default profile I want to load while starting Spring Boot application. And another one is repository. So here we have to very clear where we want to keep our configurations. In my case, I want to distribute my variables across multiple repositories. So that's why I given application rather than hard-coded repository name, so that we can distribute the variables. So for each team, we can have a separate repository and they can store their values in that repository. So we can decide few ways. There are another way, let's say if it is a small team, in that case what we can do, let's say I want to keep all my variables under config repo, and this is the search path. So how we can say the search path here? So instead of static search path, we can say application. So this is one way. So if you configure like this, so we're going to the Spring Boot config server will look only one repository, that name is config, and it will look the application based on the folder inside that config repo. But in our case, we want to distribute across multiple repositories. So I am making repository name as dynamic. So this one is the default settings, we can ignore as it is. And another one is the private key, which is the so this is the private key. So this private key I pasted here. The public key has to be copied wherever it is applicable for the authentication. So since we are using SSH based authentication, so we have to configure private key and a public key. And rest all we can leave with the default settings. So you can go through the document as well. So there is a Spring cloud.spring.io, we can see Spring Cloud config. Under that we can see Spring Cloud config server. So here they given whatever changes I told, all the steps they given here. So you can take a look on that here. And another thing, we have to understand three things. So one is the application name. So usually it would be a repository name, or inside a repository it could be a folder name. Profile is nothing but it is mostly for the environments, let's say dev profile, prod profile, so something like this. And then label, in which branch I have to fetch these variables, whether it is from a master or a develop, or it is from a main. So these are the ways we can form the REST APIs. So we'll see one by one very soon. So we have done all the modifications. So once we made all the modification, let's go and build this application. So Gradle W clean build. I want to highlight, I put one more file under Java, hello controller.java. So this is the default REST API. For that we want to print some hello message. I'm saying greetings from Spring Boot v1, just for to ensure our Spring Cloud config server is working or not. So now the build is successful. Let's run this one. Java -jar build lib.jar. So for demo purpose, I'm using Bitbucket. I seen one restriction. So the GitHub is not allowing to use the same key for multiple repositories. So for the demo purpose, for that reason, I'm using Bitbucket. So if I go to here, application.yaml, you can see I'm using Bitbucket. Inside this Bitbucket, if you notice, so from multiple repositories, we can fetch the variable. For example, let's say I have a repository called pipeline job. So this is the one we in the upcoming sessions we're going to use in our shared library. So for now, if you see the search path, I'm mentioned as conf folder. So inside this repository, I created a conf folder. Under conf folder, I created application.yaml. So this application.yaml is called default profile, and then in whatever is varying across applications and across environments, that we have to override here. So for example, I have this default variables. There is a domain name jenkinsdev.com, but when it goes to stage, so it is jenkinsstage.com. For production, the same way it is jenkinsprod.com. So it's not necessary to declare all the variables in all the files. So whichever is varying across the environments, so only declare that variable and give the correct value. So there are two ways. One is to fetch the variables, and another one is to fetch some files inside the repository. So first we will see how to fetch a variables. So if I go here, so now currently my Spring Cloud config server is running. So first I want to ensure, okay, so it is working fine. I'm getting greetings from Spring Boot v1. So this is the REST API we have to form. So here we have to give the branch name. So in my case, it is main branch. Then we have to give the repository name. So repository name is pipeline job. And then we have to put hyphen. Then we have to give the profile name here. So for now, I want to fetch from the default profile. So with this, if I run, so this is the REST API to get the variables. So now you can see this is the variable list of variables that we declared under conf folder. So usually whatever comes last, that will take high precedence. For example, if I give like this, default comma stage. So if I execute like this, so you can see the domain name is stage.com. If I override with prod, then I am getting prod.com. So whatever comes at later stage, that will take high precedence. For example, if I call like this, so I am getting stage.com. In case if I call stage comma prod, so it will be prod.com. So whichever comes last, so each profile should be comma separated. So and whichever it comes last, that will take high precedence. So in case if there is a variable, it is applicable only in the production. That means, so we can declare only here. Example prod var prd value. So let me commit this one. So this prod var is not declared in stage and in default profile. So let's see how it works. So let me delete this one. So you can see prod var is coming. But if I call stage profile, so that prod var will not come. So it will do appending as well as the override. So that's how we can form our variables. So now Now we've seen how to form a variables. Now I want to get some files inside a repository. So conf is the search folder. So to store our variables, let's say for example, I have a nginx.conf. Inside that nginx.conf, I am referring domain name. So the domain name is declared under a conf folder. So I want to fetch this variable, this file. So let's see how to do that. So for that, we have to say first we have to give the repository name. Let's take this one. So here it is nginx.conf. First we have to say repository name, and then we have to say profile name, and then we have to say the branch name, then the actual path inside a repository. So in my case, I kept demo project and then nginx.conf. Let's try to fetch that file. So now if you see here the server name jenkins.com. So this is because we declared this variable. This variable is coming from our under a conf folder. So as I mentioned, this is the profile declaration. If I put comma prod, so you can see jenkins.prod.com. The same way if I put for stage, so whatever is variable you needed, so you can refer here. So same thing. So jenkins.stage.com, and it got replaced here as well. So one thing we should remember, when we are downloading a file or when you are referring the variable inside a file, it will just work for a key value pair. Let's say if you are in declared like a list, if you call that list completely inside a file, it will not be replaced, where you will be getting a empty value. So we have to refer a single key value pairs. And I have one more file, demo. Now we see in nginx.conf, then another file called demo app.yml, just for example. So you may have a JSON file, you may have a YAML file. So regardless of any file, you can fetch. Here I am referring build.gradle.command and then bitbucket.org name. So I am referring these variables. Let's see how it is been replaced. Demo app.yml. So you can see, and the organization name also replaced and command also replaced. In case if I pull prod profile, so in prod we're going to execute a different command. So it is gradle build, gradle clean build -x test. So it is the example of fetching a file. So we've seen two things, how to fetch a variables and how to fetch a particular file from the repository. Then I have one more example. It's somewhat complicated one. Let's take this repository, Jenkins config client demo. Under this conf folder, I created multiple files. Let's assume this hello is the application name or some project name or some team name. So I have a variable based on an application. So I declared here, and then based on the environment, I have some variables that I declared here. So when it is here, there is a one more trick. In production, I have some common variables. Usually the production environment will be set up a primary group and secondary group, or someone will say PR group, DR group, I mean disaster recovery group. So usually the production will be segregated like this. So there could be a variables which will be common across all production environments, and there are some variables it will vary PR and DR. So that's why, to understand in a simple way, I put a primary group and secondary group. So in a primary group, I have a few set of variables. If you see, I have port here 9001, but when it goes to primary 2, I have a port 9002. And then I have few variables for stage environment, and then I have a default variables. So as I mentioned, whatever variable it is varying, you have to declare only those variables in each profile, or there is a variable it is used only in that environment, then we have to declare only in that environment. So with this, we'll take a look on this example. So we'll see how to fetch a variable. As I told earlier, we have to give branch name, then my repository name. Jenkins config client demo is my repository name. Then I have to call my profiles. So first I am calling my default profile. Then here it is a team name or application name, hello. And then I am saying stage environment and then group. So whether it is a primary group or secondary group, but so since for stage environment I don't have anything, so again I am calling a stage, and then I want to get as OAML. So see here, so I got target ENV group as stage because in a stage I declared target ENV group as stage and target ENV is stage. So both are stage here, and I am forming some values dynamically. So if you take a look on my default profile, I am referring variables of other profiles here. So that also it's getting replaced, and finally I am getting this value. For example, now I want to get for production. So target environment is prod, and then the group is PRD1. If I call that, so you can see the port is changed and target ENV is changed, target ENV group is changed. So still my application is hello. For now, let's say 2. So port is changed, this target ENV group is changed, but target ENV is still prod. So for example, instead of this hello, my app name is coming hello, we'll create another file, new file, application world.yml. So instead of this one, my app name is this one. So we pushed our changes. Now instead of hello, I'm changing to world. So if you see here, the app name is changed to world. So this is how we can make the profile dynamically and we can get our variables. So I think this one we're going to use a lot in our Jenkins shared library. So let's try to understand better way, do a practice so that you will get some clear picture. So thanks for watching this video. Let's catch up during next video.